So I've been watching some videos and pictures online about this devastation that happened in Suleja, Niger State, where more than 70 persons were killed due to the explosion of a tanker that happened on Saturday. It's quite devastating. The numbers may rise because there are persons who have been reported to have first, second, and third degree burns owing to the situation that happened. You know, just like I mentioned on our show this morning on TV, I mean, if that same scenario, that same tanker falling off, happened in places like Lagos, Ikeja, places like Abuja, places like Rivers, places like, even the highbrow areas. I'm trying to, bring to our fore something that I'm seeing that is playing out. Even if those things happened in these capital cities that I've mentioned, people will still find a way to try to scoop fuel from an accidental tanker. And please follow this narrative. It is not about hunger, and I will explain. It is about the inherent greed in an average Nigerian. It is about an inherent, insatiable attitude to get to the next level, to cut corners, to get to the next phase, or to beat the rules, or to steal from you. That is exactly what is fueling this attitude. Because I do not understand how dangerous this is. It's just like saying, look, if you stand on the middle of the road on the highway, you're going to be knocked down by a vehicle and you're going to die. And then that's the same thing you're going to do because you're going to pick an egg from the middle of the road. That is how crazily devastating and bad it is. So for what now? More than 40 years since these issues have been in the news. Tanker falling off, tanker getting accidented. You still see people go and scoop fuel at the detriment of their lives. And more than 90% of the time that an accidented tanker has fallen, it almost always explodes. It has been in the news. You can't claim, nobody can claim that they haven't seen those pictures, those videos of people burning. The one that happened just few weeks back, we're still reeling from that in Sokoto. And you still see people doing the same thing. It's painful. And please, it's not hunger. Because, hunger, I know, yes, have a way of pushing you to do a thing or two, not pushing you to go and die. Hunger doesn't push you to go and die. This is not about maybe you, Charles, you have yourself sorted of some sort. You know where your next meal is going to come from. You have some savings somewhere. Oh, you are this, you are that. You've been around for a while, so there is inherent poverty. I understand the level of poverty in this country. More than half of the population of Nigerians are very poor. When I mean more than half, I'm talking about more than 120 million Nigerians are living under the $2 mark per day. It is true, but it is not to the extent. It is not to the extent of going to practically kill yourself, commit a suicide because you're hungry. You won't have a good sense, a good acumen, or you have your sense all covered to the extent of pulling yourself to a point of seeing danger and jumping on it, and they ask you and you say it's hunger. Okay, so if the tanker did not fall off, if the tanker did not, got itself into that accident, you wouldn't eat that day? Did you plan to have an accident of a tanker happen so you could scoop fuel to go and sell or to make money off it. It is not hunger, for crying out loud. Because those who are hungry are already existing. They are living, right? So you didn't plan that when an accident happened, you go and rob people who got an accident. Or when a tanker fall off, the next thing you're going to do is to go and scoop fuel, and then the next thing is to sell it. This is not hunger. And I want you to debate that with me. It's not hunger. And I can prove to you it is not hunger. It is greed. They are living, right? So you didn't plan that when an accident happened, you go and rob people who got an accident. Or when a tanker fall off, the next thing you're going to do is to go and scoop fuel, and then the next thing is to sell it. This is not hunger. And I want you to debate that with me. It's not hunger. And I can prove to you it is not hunger. It is greed. The average Nigerian is greedy. Yes, maybe fueled by the fact that, hunger dey land, but you can't tell me that is largely all about hunger. That's the reason why someone would see an accidented tanker filled with fuel, spilling its content, and the next thing they're thinking is to go and scoop it. It's not hunger, it's greed. It's pure greed. The inability for someone to be contented with what they have. If you're hungry, you cannot go and look for a job. You can't look for a menial job to get by, to put food on your table. You have to show yourself, you show your hunger, you have to show the level of how hungry you are only when there is a tanker explosion, or only when there's an accidental tanker. Let's be realistic, really. It's not hunger. So another thing I also want to talk was the government. These things have continuously happened over the years. For as long as I was a kid, there's always going to be one tragic story happening in one quarter, in 1 month, and it's largely really about, the tanker has just fallen. And this thing keeps happening. Isn't there time that we find a way of solving this problem once and for all? Is there no way we can find a lasting solution to this? Transportation of fuel product, diesel or kerosene, what have you, this inflammable product, can they be done at a particular point of the day, maybe at night, where people are mostly not on the road traveling? Even though they are, the numbers were scanty. Isn't it possible that we can start using more pipes to transport this fuel from one place to another? Isn't no way we can do that? Is there no way else that we can use train station to transport some of these products, so that whatever it is, we would reduce the number of persons who will be casuals, in things like this? I'm so pained by the numbers I'm seeing. I know these numbers will rise, and there are some persons who will be incapacitated for life, all because hunger, or because, come on. So I don't know, it's terrible. I want to use this opportunity also to speak to those who have lost their loved ones in that tragic incident in Niger State. It's painful, it's saddening. I just wish for the repose of the soul of those who have lost their lives, and God give you the gratitude to bear the irreparable loss, and also to speak to government to find ways and solutions to these incessant accidented trucks on the road. And please, when a truck falls off the cliff, whether it's a bridge, in fact, for me, when I'm driving and I find out that there's a heavy duty vehicle in front of me, or even beside me or behind me, I feel agitated. I begin to feel like agitated, that I just want to leave this environment, because you don't know where the heavy duty vehicle is coming from, where they are going to, or what they have in store, in their content. So I just want to move far from that particular environment. So you would ask how careful can you really be? We've seen this thing happen. You know, some of these heavy duty trucks, you know, explode on their own. You know, so please, I beg of you, and everyone who's concerned, when a truck falls off and spills its content, the best thing you can do, if you can, get the police to notify them. Because sometimes the police are not almost everywhere. If there's a possibility to even get road safety numbers, to call them, to inform them about what has happened to it. The first instinct of survival is not going to scoop fuel from an accidented truck. Please, that's not the first thing to do. That's not the first thing to do. You don't call your friends, your family members to come and scoop fuel because there has been an accidented vehicle. It's stealing. It's stealing. There's nothing you can say about it. It's stealing, and it is wrong. More than 90% of the time that we have trucks that have been accidented, it gets into chaotic situations because people go in there to want to scoop fuel. It gets bursted. So please, I beg of you, run as much as possible. When that happens, run for your life. Please. Very important. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you.